have a best thing. Actually, I'm so good. No, oh no, that's not what's going on. I'm trying to look like I'm shivering.
And this is like now.
I kind of wish I was still fat.
I can use a little something right now. Like 2 weeks ago, and somehow it like went.
Well, that was Joe who I ran into up there. He hasn't seen me for a year. So he was like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I don't know."
What's wrong with you? That's a great one.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to Worldwide Technology Soccer Park. Converge One is proud to present tonight's USL regular season match between Birmingham Legion FC and your St. Louis FC. Tonight's official match ball is presented by Cowley Coffee. And now, let's meet tonight's St. Louis FC starting 11 brought to you by Schlafly.
And this is camera 3. He's right next to me.
Going in goal, number 24, Jake Olafson.
We have 4 of those every game.
On defense, number 3, Manuel Cavina. Number 4, your captain, Sam Fink. And number 15, Don Reno. At midfield, number 2, Matt Boehner. Number 8, Lewis Hilton. Number 12, Guy Aben. And number 13, Kadeem Baker. And starting at forward, number 9, Russell Cicerone. Number 10, Albert Dequa. And number 22, Kyle Gregg. That is your St. Louis FC Schlafly starting 11. St. Louis FC is led by head coach Anthony Poulis. He is assisted by Max Rogers, goalkeeper coach Brian Jones, director of high performance Nate Steinmetz, and athletic trainer Jake Tanner. Now, please direct your attention to the statue on the west side of the stadium and welcome tonight's team, Birmingham Legion FC, and your St. Louis FC!
As St. Louis FC are home with Birmingham Legion off their first ever victory as a club, and it's against the champions, Louisville City. Welcome in to this match presented by the Cheshire in Chris Whittingham alongside Sam Stockley for commentary of this one. St. Louis FC come in top of the table in the Eastern Conference as we begin now with a look at their hot start to the season. 13 points from an available 15 off a victory last time out against Atlanta United 2. And you take a look at the recent history of teams in USL Championship that have taken 13 in their first 15 available points. Last year, it's the USL Cup champions, Louisville City.
And I have no doubt in my mind that St. Louis will be up there for this season as well. You know, the way that they've started, the way that all of their players are bought in. You know, speaking to Anthony Pulis in the week and how his team are all bought in to the system. There's some familiarity in there between the players. Look at Greg up top, who got 13 goals last season. He's going to be joined in there with Deepa probably, you know, which he can start scoring goals this season. It's going to be good for the club.
And for St. Louis, let's get into our player to watch. St. Louis does make some changes this year, but our player to watch, presented by Converge One, Lewis Hilton, is that distributor playmaker in the center of the park.
Head coach called him the heartbeat, and I can see exactly why. You know, after watching him this season, he has a little bit of everything. Everywhere he's been, he can score goals. He's got a lovely creative eye. He can see a pass. He can get assists. He's driving the team at the minute with his attitude and his work rate and how he's getting around the field. And this is a perfect surface for Lewis Hamilton. On turf, a little bit of zip. He can get around the field. He can be competitive and he can win tackles. He's got a little bit of everything.
As we now bring you our keys to the match, Birmingham Legion have done quite a bit tactically in the early stages of this year. So for St. Louis, an opportunity to try and figure them out and see what they're going to do on the night.
And it's going to have to see what they're going to do on the night. You look at them so far, they've had four games with 4 different formations, from a 4-4-2 flat, Chris. They've gone to a 4-4-2 diamond. They've had a 4-3-3. And each one of those formations has brought different players in and out, which makes it hard for Anthony Pulis to be able to select a team. But, you know, they'll be ready for that. If you look at Birmingham Legion's keys to the game, start strong, finish stronger, then that's what they're going to need, because obviously St. Louis come out and they score a lot of their goals. All of their goals have been scored in the first 26 minutes.
And those are our keys to the match, presented by Converge One. Tonight at the Toyota Stadium, St. Louis FC taking on Birmingham Legion off a historic victory, but they themselves on a terrific run of form. St. Louis, Birmingham, next.
This year we developed Ale d'Or, which is a beer brewed exclusively for the St. Louis Football Club. We've been partners with STLC for coming up on 3 years now. St. Louis Football Club got some Schlafly, call out our Luligan friends on the side. You'll be able to find Ale d'Or obviously out at Soccer Park and then at your local grocery in and around St. Louis, so we're really excited to get it out there in the market. We're excited to debut it in 16-ounce cans for the upcoming season. Football Club. We've been partners with STLC for coming up on 3 years now. St. Louis Football Club got some Schlafly, call out our Luligan friends on the side. You'll be able to find Ale d'Or obviously out at Soccer Park and then at your local grocery in and around St. Louis, so we're really excited to get it out there in the market. We're excited to debut it in 16-ounce cans for the upcoming season.
A lottery ticket is so much more than a piece of paper. It's wonder, opportunity, dreams. And not just for players. 100% of the profits from every Missouri lottery ticket you play goes back to schools, teachers, and students. Play it forward with the Missouri Lottery.
Tonight's St. Louis FC Academy Spotlight player is Jansen Miller. Jansen began his career with SLSG, moved on to stops with Blue Fuse and Panathinaikos before returning to the club at the age of 13. Jansen returned to SLSG as a U14 player and has risen through the St. Louis FC Academy system, eventually signing a contract with the first team. Jansen Miller is tonight's St. Louis FC Academy Spotlight.
As we are live from the Toyota Stadium this evening, St. Louis FC home with Birmingham Legion. This match presented by the Cheshire Raiders. We can bring you tonight's starting lineups presented by Converge One. We'll get to them as we bring you the opening stages of this match. First, though, we'll take a look at the St. Louis team sheet. 3 changes from the team that beat Atlanta United 2, including both fullbacks coming out.
Yep. Both fullbacks coming out, which is a big, big loss, I think, for the coach in this game, who's talking about how important it's been this season just in those wide areas. So let's see who fills in.
As we now go to the starting 11 for Birmingham Legion, an entirely unchanged side.
Yeah, been a bit of a mixed start for this group. You know, they've had a couple of games cancelled. They didn't really get going in the last game because of the weather. So expect to see Hoffman and Wright up top cause a lot of problems.
And it's Chandler Hoffman, the man who leads the line, that is no doubt the player to watch from a Birmingham point of view, the 28-year-old third in the USL Championship scoring charts with 60 career goals, already has one, and he's a native of Birmingham, Alabama. Without question, a player to watch for Birmingham Legion. As Birmingham Legion get us going from left to right in their white chain strip, St. Louis FC in their home greens with the white trim as well. Chris Whittingham alongside Sam Stockley for commentary of this one. St. Louis FC off to a fantastic start to this 2019 campaign in the Eastern Conference. Top of the table, 4 wins from 5, 13 points from an available 15, and one last time out. Sam Fink converted a penalty, and Russell Cicerone getting the goals in the opening 20 minutes. For Birmingham Legion, an incredible victory away from home against the champions last time out. It was 2 defeats at home to start the year, but winning away from home against Louisville City. Brian Wright with the winner in the 87th minute to win at the home of the champions. Do not bring you to tonight's injury report presented by Converge One. Tomas Gomez out tonight due to a groin injury. The backup goalkeeper for the evening will be Patrick Schultz, who is 18 years of age. Bradley Camden-Feo, the regular left back, out due to a foot injury. For Birmingham Legion, we'll see Mathieu Laurent partner with Cal Fisher as Marcel Apia is dealing with a calf injury. Playing it down the line is Eric Avila, the regular right back for this Birmingham side.
You'll see Avila a lot there. He'll get on the ball. He'll play that ball down that right-hand side. That's going to be an area to keep an eye on. You've just seen a little glimpse of it in this first couple of minutes. But, you know, Birmingham Legion are strong down that side. Avila and Kazim, who'll be on that side, they'll interchange a lot. Kazim, Hoffman, Wright. There's a little triangle out there, and they often rotate in and out. So keep an eye on that.
His ball was given away there by Kyle Fisher, but Birmingham doing well to win the ball back. There's Harivo with Mikey Lopez very much the holder in that midfield. You do see again a different looking shape for Birmingham Legion. It's a bit more like 4-3-3 tonight with Harivo and Daniel Johnson in front of Mikey Lopez, but of course that is liable to change as this match carries on.
Yeah, what you can see here is St. Louis straight into their blocks defensively. They've got a system. They know exactly what they're doing. You can see the 2 banks of 4. You can also see there's a forward stepping in there. Now you got Craig stepping in there, and they'll press together as 2 working front men.
This ball is played back to Matt Van Oekel, who sends it up the pitch, the former Oklahoma City Energy and Real Salt Lake goalkeeper. Real Salt Lake, of course, in Major League Soccer, where a lot of these Birmingham players applied their trade. Jay Heaps, the technical director, and Tom Sohn, the manager. Plenty of background in Major League Soccer and have used those contacts to bring in some quality players into this Birmingham side. As Eric Avila, as we might expect, will come forward. Daniel Johnson.
You can see Kazim there just come inside. Perfect little hole, just sitting in front of that back line there. Just anything drops down to him, he'll step in there. Quality little player he is.
Avila doing well to play the cross, and now the former St. Louis FC man Kyle Culbertson trying to recover the ball. And a foul given there by our matchday referee Jervis Atagana. And a free kick for the hosts. For St. Louis FC, top of the Eastern Conference. They've switched conferences now in USL for 5 years. This is one of the downsides of being smack dab in the middle of the United States of America on the map. As teams get added, you'll be liable to switch conferences. Last year in the West, the year before in the East, West, East. So for a 5th consecutive year since 2019, playing in a different conference. And really for Anthony Poulos, it's an entirely different challenge playing in the Eastern Conference, because for the most part, you're only playing against teams in your own conference in a USL League season. And so it's an entirely new set of opponents to prepare for, whereas obviously Birmingham, an expansion club, and maybe more established clubs in the East will have known the 12 or 13 teams that they'll play every year.
100%. You know, he spoke about it when we chatted in the week, and he felt that the Eastern Conference was a little bit more compact, a little bit more organised, much more than the Western, where it's a little bit more open and expansive. And I think that sort of suits his system at the minute and the way that he plays. You know, there's a lot of talk about the style of play and how he likes it.
As the cross is delivered there into the penalty area, come out here to Prosper Kasim, who will now strike with his left and straight into the defender, Sam Fink, who now charges out Kasim. Second time of asking. And it goes blazing over the bar.
Yeah, busy little work there from Kasim. He'll do that a lot. Drifts inside, great little player. Lovely little left foot. He doesn't stay rigid to that right-hand side for Birmingham. He'll drift right in, just as you've seen then.
And now Jake Fenlison will assess his options in front of him. Ping the ball out to that right-hand side, right to his former teammate, Kyle Culbertson. Coming in off this left-hand side. Here's Zach Harivo. Avila.
I'm excited to watch Harivo play. You can see him now on the ball. He's very clean. He sees a pass. Really, really clever player.
So Kasim lofts it into the penalty area. Taken down well there by Chandler Hoffman, but he had drifted offside.
See exactly what they're trying to do there. Lovely crossfield ball to Hoffman, and he'll pull onto that left-hand side. He loves to pull out in that angle. Such a clever finisher, such a real good forward, obviously. Third in the all-time USL scoring list at the minute, but he can see a goal and he'll pull out to that channel and then be looking to bend them far post.
Kyle Gregg trying to win in the air for his usual strike partner, Albert Dikla, who might occasionally play withdrawn in behind Gregg and occasionally play in front of him as well. The Cameroonian had a real impact a year ago. Better than his statistics at times, finishes with 3 goals and 3 assists, but there's a lot of running. Makes life difficult. Interested to talk to the manager for St. Louis FC, Anthony Poulos, in the week, saying that even forward players get judged in their defensive work, and you can very well understand why. They've only given away 2 goals in 5 matches, 3 clean sheets.
No, you know, but we're lucky, we're fortunate that we get to speak to a few managers, and I think that, you know, Anthony Poulos is in that position where he doesn't have to worry about who's coming up, who's coming down, what's getting sent from him from the first team. He's got his group of lads, he's got his system, they've got the structure. And for me, the whole conversation, exactly like you said, there's a system of playing, and that's with the ball and without the ball. And if you're not doing, doesn't matter if you're scoring 10 goals, if you're not doing your job when you're out of possession, then it's going to be difficult for you in his game and in his game plan.
Opportunity on here for Lewis Hilton in the penalty area, who strikes off a defender, as does Russell Cicerone, and wins St. Louis a corner.
Yeah, brilliant feat from Cicerone to start with. He's such a clever, tricky little player. I've seen him play on the right-hand side. Tonight he's playing on the left-hand side, and with him playing on the left-hand side, everything he's going to want to do is to come inside on his right foot. When he comes in, you've got Hilton who can get forward, and he likes to get beyond, so watch out for that partnership. Really good play.
And now it will be a corner presented by Electro Savings. And it's taken short. And now clip back into the area and sails to the top of Matt Van Okel's goal and harmlessly out of play.
Yeah, not really what they're looking for there. Just trying to get a little bit of a bad set. It was back to him, and his touch got stuck in his feet. He's trying to whip that in, Hilton. But such a good player. Really come into his own this season as well. Really come into his own. Took on the leadership role. And again, we was just talking about it before, you know, about Anthony Poulos, about how his team, he just felt that they were so much more familiar with him and what's required, you know, and what's required in his system, like you said, both in and out of possession. And, you know, he's obviously bloomed in that now, Hilton, and is a key part of it.
Kadeem Dakers interchanging well, trying to get the return ball on the 1-2 from Dikwa. Now, a positive idea there from Gaia Ben, trying to slide it through. The ball cut out by Birmingham. Now Dikwa. And into the penalty area, the cross delivered towards that back post towards Cicerone, who does well to keep it in play. Play on, says the referee. Now taken by Lewis Hilton! And well saved by Matt Van Okel. Opportunity still up for St. Louis and Cicerone. Birmingham unable to clear their line. Sliding tackle in from Avila.
Great little battle there from Hilton at the end. Did very well. He thought Avila was looking for the foul as he nicked it. Great defending from the right back, Avila, but here it is. Great feet from Cicerone again. There you see Hilton. He just pops in that little left-hand side of the box where he can open up onto his right foot. Just a great block there from the defender. Tough spot. In fact, the goalkeeper, he does well there. He's just trying to cut it back in. You see how he opened his body up, and he's just trying to cut it back in near post. Just didn't catch it right. But great start again. Cicerone down this left-hand side is causing a lot of problems, as is Dakers down that right-hand side. So direct and quick, you know, when they get going. And just before that, when you see the ball being delivered, Chris, it was great movement from Gregg in the box. started off on a penalty spot and just darted near post, and that created the space for Cicerone to get around the back post.
And you should say as well, Lewis Hilton, who at times will play a bit more deep line, doing well to make runs into the area. He's been on the ball when the two biggest chances of these opening 10 minutes have arrived for St. Louis.
Yeah, exactly that. And you know, I've heard and watched a lot about St. Louis and how they play, and people say that, you know, the difficult two banks and forward defensively, they like to play long. I disagree with that. I think that they have a system and they look for areas that they can exploit, and they'll do their game plan and they'll do what they need to do to find those areas to exploit you.
It's now Daniel Johnson finding himself in some space. Hoffman returning the ball. Culbertson.
This won't bother St. Louis at all. You can see they're just fanning out now, all getting back into shape. You can see them shifting and moving.
Avila doing well to play it in the feet of Brian Wright, the loanee from New England Revolution. Trying to spray it out to this right-hand side for Prosper Kasim to chase. And it goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's going to be important for Brian Wright, like you said there, for Birmingham Legion as a centre forward. He's playing a little bit of a lone role. He'll have Hoffman under him, Johnson, Kazim will buzz around underneath him and make runs off him. But when it's so tight and the lines are so compact from St. Louis, it's very difficult to find those gaps, and that's where Wright has to be really clever with his movement.
Kyle Gregg attempting to flick on 13 goals a year ago for St. Louis. One of 8 players in the side tonight that were a regular part of the team a year ago. That's not something you see every day in the USL Championship, and yet it's a huge part of their early season success.
I think I 100% agree, and we had this conversation ourselves pre-game about how you're building now teams and how you need to give multi-year contracts to be able to believe in a system. It takes time to put a philosophy in place. It takes time to build a methodology, as these head coaches are, especially some of these expansion teams where they're building it from the ground up. That takes 2-3 years. So to do that, you've got to get the right core of players, and they've got to buy in over a period of time. And I think you're seeing that more now, Chris, in this league and in this new build now with USL. I think it's excellent.
As Daniel Johnson able to win the ball and carry on his way, draws multiple defenders now out to this right-hand side. Left there by Harivo. Kasim. Onto this right-hand side. Johnson's delivery. And well dealt with there by Famuel Kavita. Now Gregg trying to win the ball. Now might be a counter-attacking opportunity on here for St. Louis. Dakers, but the defense there of Laurent and Culbertson doing very well to shut down the run there of Dikwa.
Yeah, great defending. Didn't step in, just stayed patient, just dropped off. Dakers had to turn out.
And now Avila having to ward off Russell Cicerone there.
Be a good little battle there. You know, Avila's been in the league a long time. He's been in multiple teams. He's been successful. You know, he's here for a reason. He's got a quality right foot. And you see straight away with Cicerone his ability to be able to be crafty. And I think that's what they were missing last year. If you look at St. Louis, you know, defensively, very structured, very good, very well oiled. But attacking-wise, I think at times they potentially ran out of ideas going forward. And I think now with Cicerone there, Ben is another one for me, you know, a real clever, talented player that's important for the group. It allows Hilton to go forward. It allows him to sort of roam a little bit. So he's added some good pieces.
Matt Boehner playing a quality ball there for Kadim Dakers, who still mazes through as the advantage was given and now pulled back for a free kick about 8 yards outside of the penalty area, and yellow as well for Mikey Lopez.
If you're St. Louis, I don't think you want that foul. I don't think you want it called back. You're in. I know it was a bad challenge. It was definitely a yellow from Lopez. He came flying in. But they created a great overload and was about to get in. See a little interchange here. You can see it's late on Dakers there. Great little flick around the corner, and look, he's out the other side.
Bit of a harsh yellow card for me.
Yeah, I agree. Lopez has just tried to read it. Dakers has got in front, laid it off, and the ball's gone.
Fans enjoying great night out here at the Toyota Stadium.
Got to be. Hilton lined up perfect for him here. Perfect angle. I think he'll go up and over. What do you reckon? Up and over the wall or across his body? I think he's going to put this up and over the wall, right-hand side.
It's 28 yards from goal. It would be quite an ambitious hit towards goal.
Bend it around that right-hand side.
Here's what the Englishman will attempt to do. Here's Lewis Hilton, and it does go into the wall. Even if it had gotten through, probably not really testing Matt Van Oekel in goal, but Birmingham will look to break. Johnson. Daniel Johnson, the former MLS player with Chicago Fire, former first-round pick in MLS Super Draft. I've seen a lot of the ball this evening.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's going to be a good addition to Birmingham Legion. Very crafty, very clever. You can see he wants the ball at his feet. You know, when the head coach spoke about him, Tom Soon, he's mentioned about how he's brave, how they need that, how he wants to take players on, and he wants to get up players and cause problems for opposition. And that's, you know, you need that in at this level.
Cheeky little dink there from Eric Avila.
Lovely little dink.
You know, one's a bit central. Interesting to see the right back coming to play in the center of the park, and Mikey Lopez moving out to this right-hand side. He's trying to change the look on a regular basis, our Birmingham Legion. Chandler Hoffman, one of the league's top goal scorers in its history. He's played at times on the left-hand side tonight and allowed Brian Wright to play through the middle. Now Kyle Fisher will play long ball up towards Culbertson. Nodded down towards Hoffman, but dealt with by St. Louis at the back.
Good shake from St. Louis there. I know it looked like that was a great diagonal ball, but so for me, St. Louis is always in control of that as that ball gets hit. Culbertson's get isolated out there on that left-hand side.
Reynolds. It was interesting to see how St. Louis would deploy, as Kavita at times has played at fullback for Anthony Poulis, but it seems at the moment that the manager prefers to have Kavita and Fink partnering. Central defense partnership for a majority of the year last year was Reynolds and Fink. He now moves the typical center back out to this left-hand side as Kavita whiffs at it. Goes out of play for a throw-in, and again here for Birmingham.
No, I think you're exactly right there, Chris. And I think if you look at the mentality of the head coach, when we spoke to him, he said about Fenlerson, about how he played himself into the starting 11 through pre-season. He said they came in on the first day of pre-season and they laid it out as a group of players that everybody's opportunity is up for grabs. Last season was a fantastic season, but it's done, and you now have an opportunity to go and compete and earn your shirt. And I think that's exactly what's happened there with Kavita and Fink at the back. If you think they've only conceded, they've had 3 clean sheets and only conceded 2 goals in the first 5 games. If I'm a head coach, I'm not changing those 2 centre backs either.
St. Louis all year fighting for a playoff place, as the return ball there from Wright for Kasim. Terribly well done, and Kasim was off. On the periphery of the postseason a year ago, but bring back a solid core of players and add a few like Russell Cicerone on this left-hand side, and Matt Boehner in defense, Paris G and Bradley Campfewo coming from Tulsa and Fresno respectively, and now you're not fighting for a playoff place, but you're firmly atop the table.
Yeah, top of the table, and rightly so in the way that they are.
Now Culbertson, the duel against varying points of last year was his mate on that one side. I always say, and now they come together.
Yeah, I always say Culbertson he's going to either have a 10 out of 10 game or he's going to get subbed after 65 minutes. It always happens against your home team, but so far he's doing well. He's got a tough night ahead of him against Dakers out that side. But like you said, he'll know what he's capable of doing. You can see them getting after each other there. I don't mind that. You never know, maybe they didn't like each other last season and it's a perfect duel. There you see Coach Pulis, Anthony Pulis, done a fantastic job for me. And even when we spoke to him in the week, just how calm he is, how detailed he is. You know, he knows exactly where he's at. He knows what's going on with each one of his players, the system, how it's going. You know, and I think that there's no surprise that he's been so successful so far in this early part of the season. But, you know, he's been around the block. He understands what it's about. He knows it's a long, long season to go. But the way that they defend and the way that they're structured, you know, you can see them being up there and very difficult.
As the header is flicked on well there by Wright. Hoffman now trying to chase it. Forward by Boehner. On there by Lewis Hilton. Cicerone. Charges on his way, waiting for runners. Reynolds is there. A bend.
That little bit there was a bit better for me from St. Louis. You think they're the home side, right? We're 19 minutes in. They've had a couple of opportunities, but I expect their tempo to be a little bit quicker in the transition. I think You know, they just need to a little bit faster in these areas, and that's where they're going to get more success.
Off into the penalty area there by Dequa, or rather by Dakers, excuse me. And now out for an Electro Savings corner.
Got to be switched on here now. Van Okel organising his troops, getting them organised. You'll all have your man. You know your position. You know where you are. Now it's all about being focused and just understanding your job. And if you're marking someone, don't let your runner get off you.
And it will be an Electro Savings corner for St. Louis FC. Lofted into the area. Kavita looked like he was unmarked on that back post, as at least managed to send it on its way. Kyle Gregg now nodding it down for Hilton, who lofts it back in, but is also going out of play.
Poor from Hilton, that. 2v1 out there, he's got time. Gregg headed the ball back to him. They can do a 2v1. He's tried to first time it, obviously. Just took it back into the box. Keep it alive. It's got to be better quality from him. He knows that. Been in the league a long time, been around the block, isn't he, Van Okel? We were talking about that. Solid, but also, you know, really important part of Birmingham Legion is he's also a player assistant coach, and they spoke about how he's transitioned into that role really, really well, and it's been a big, big plus for the head coach with his ability to be able to relate to the players, still be out on the field, but then obviously take up that coaching role.
Nice flick there from Gassim, yes, indeed. But Hilton reading the game well and intercepting.
And that's what you, that's what you say with Birmingham. That's what you're going to see with Birmingham Legion as they start getting into this season. You know, they've got some quality players, but again, they're just still trying to find their rhythm.
Laurent there going through the back of Kyle Gregg, and Cicerone looked to be in a little bit of a rush there to put the ball in play, but will leave it with a bend. Sam Fink, his second stint with St. Louis. Turning home, the native of Edwardsville, Illinois.
30 start Tuesday is rough if you got kids. I mean, you know.
This ball goes towards the byline. Dequa trying to win it back.
Really good interchange again on that right-hand side between Boehner and Dakers. Just a lovely little simple give and go, and he underlapped and came in and rolled out, and then Dequa rolled into that channel, and Birmingham left back didn't know where to go.
Now Reynolds trying to return for Hilton, but gives away. Here's Brian Wright charging on. It's got some space. We'll leave it short here for Johnson. And straight at Jake Fenlison, who claims well.
See exactly what Johnson was trying to do there. Great little interchange, give away to start with, cause a counter-attack. Wright picking it up, just gives him the eyes. You see Johnson coming on there, and all he's trying to do is open his body up, use the goalkeeper and just bend it far post. Didn't quite execute it, but lovely, great opportunity there. Easy for the goalkeeper, Fenderson.
Has taken down well there now. Albert Dequa trying to run through multiple defenders, just about did so. Cicerone trying to dink there into the path of Gregg. Comes out for Lewis Hilton and hits it straight at Laurent. But plays it quickly out for Kadeem Dakers, who tries to send it through the area. And it'll come out for a corner.
They do very well, St. Louis. They keep the ball alive. When they get it into that final third, it's not just like a shot and over. There's always people around the ball. They're always keeping it alive. They seem to be really, really front-footing when they're front foot thinking once they've hit a shot and looking to get that second ball and keep it in the box.
And now Dakers going over. Take the short free kick again. Comes out to Hilton, who will loft towards that back post. Dequa was there, knocks it down. But Dequa was offside first.
Great little free kick. Great little set piece. It was all planned. Just see Dequa pulling off back post, but there, opens up there. Hilton plays Dequa just back post, and you see the runner underneath, Boehner coming in. Very well worked. Exactly what he's trying to do. Goalkeeper's very brave and comes out there, but Dequa just got caught offside, but a great little set piece. They've done 2 different set pieces now, St. Louis, something that Birmingham will have to, Birmingham Legion will definitely have to switch on.
Daigle trying to return there for Cicerone, but given away to Avila. Dakers doing very well to retreat. Win the ball. There's Kadeem Dakers having to turn. Previously in USL with Louisville and FC Cincinnati. Hilton.
You just see Dakers and Cicerone rolling inside when they get high in possession. It's so difficult for Birmingham Legion's back four because they're playing against three, so they get pinned high. That's why you see the outside backs getting on the ball so often, so easily.
As Russell Cicerone tries to take first time, might still fall for him. Van Oekel bravely off his line to take care. But Dikwa and Cicerone were charging at the Birmingham goalkeeper.
Yeah, great goalkeeping, very brave. To see the ball gets put in here, tries to hit it first time, and then comes flying in Dikwa as well. Hoffman, beg your pardon. Cicerone coming in there, Dikwa just trying to get on top of him. Goalkeeper's done well there both times.
Lopez. Cal Fisher. Zach Harivo. Lofted over the top and allowed Chandler Hoffman to put some pressure on that back four, but it's a work for Fenlison.
Yeah, that's not going to work for Birmingham Legion if they play it long. Not when you've got Kavita and Fink at the back. They'll just swallow that up all day. It's got to be dropped into Hoffman's feet, playing just under right. Anything into Hoffman's feet, anything into Wright's feet, then they can get turned and really get at the two centre backs. Playing it long is not going to help them.
Boehner. Getting the return ball from Dakers. The opportunity to slide in Gregg, instead try to go back out that right flank. It goes out to touch. St. Louligans in that corner.
St. Louligans doing a great job.
Central defenders looked like they were retreating there, but Fink did eventually step. Ben tries to carry on. Instead, it's Lopez nodding down for Kasim. Prosper Kasim. It's 2 years with the Swedish top flight with Göteborg. It's Daniel Johnson. Laurent. Johnson again is buzzing around.
It's just so hard to find space in that midfield. St. Louis are doing such a good job defensively. There's a foul on the back there. They're doing such a good job defensively. Even when they break the lines, it's so tight and compact. It's really difficult for players like Johnson to get on the ball. Hoffman, Kasim, they're having to come wide and deep to get on the ball, and that will suit St. Louis all evening.
Birmingham Legion win the free kick. Kyle Culbertson and Daniel Johnson are over it. And it's Johnson who will deliver towards that back post run. Far too close to the goalkeeper to pose any threat. Reynolds. Prevented from going out of play and played a terrific ball. This is that one by Gaia Bend.
That's where Boehner's got to go quicker. Boehner's got to go quicker. As that ball gets switched, Boehner's got so much time to see that. If he sets off earlier, it comes into Dakwas and they're out that side. Dakwas getting turned and waiting for Boehner, and Boehner's not there.
And Ben doing very well to work around Mikey Lopez into the path of Kadeem Dakers, into the area. Low, a crossing, and false feet of Kyle Gregg. Well saved again. Van Oekel frustrated with his defense, but manages to stuff out the chance.
Great goalkeeping there. Very difficult ball to defend. Great ball out. You see Dakers causing problem down that right hand side. Great ball in there. Centre back and a goalkeeper, and then you see Van Oekel coming out and just smothers the second one. That's such a difficult ball in there. Great ball in. Good little touch there. And then what a save that is, just flying, coming out, just spreading himself. All or nothing.
Hilton towards that near post. Well by Birmingham. Well done there by Kadeem Dakers. That ball flashing across the face of goal.
Lovely ball. Great ball in there from Akers. Put it in a lovely area. So difficult to defend, especially on a greasy surface. Centre back Fisher sliding towards his own goal, and the goalkeeper's coming out. It's a tough one. But they created it by moving the ball fast. They got it into these areas, and then if they can just speed it up a little bit quick out here, they're having so much success down that right-hand side with Dakers and Boehner just overlapping. Just got to get Boehner a little bit higher up the field.
Reynolds. Now Hilton will loft over the top, cut out there by Kyle Fisher. Now Kasim play the ball out, leaves it for Kyle Culbertson. It's his former team.
You see that? See, that's Kazim right back in the left back position. That's how deep he's having to come back and try and get on the ball and help out. It's been a little bit of a problem for Birmingham Legion the first 3-4 games, as they seem to connect and pass well, but they can't get into that final third.
As they are now through Avila, who lofts in. It was a decently flighted ball. As now Johnson tries to win it off Cicerone. Manages to do so. On the edge of the area, here's Wright. Sliding into the path of Harivo. Harivo in the area. We'll leave it for Johnson. It comes across. First time.
He's missed it.
And it's just gone wide there from Chandler Hoffman. You would have bet your money he's at least hitting target.
He's going to be disappointed with that. What an opportunity that is. Sort of a bit of a goalmouth scramble, and he just finds it open. It gets dragged across here. Great hold-up play for Wright. I love it. Does really, really well. And then this ball's just trying to cut it back post, and it falls to Hoffman. He would have put his... He'll be disappointed there. Great opportunity. Got to do better.
Fell kindly for Chandler Hoffman. Able to do enough with it. Now Johnson. Kasim has plenty of space to run into. Prosper Kasim can take down. I'm going to have to settle his touch with Kavita trying to put him off. DR Congo native forcing Kasim back. Fellow African in the Ghanaian Kasim.
Thompson, the head coach, spotted him at 16, recruited him at 16. So you can see the relationship that they have.
Lovely work there from Dakers, has the option out wide with Cicerone. Plays him in. There's the former FC Cincinnati man, Russell Cicerone, onto his right. Dancing around multiple defenders, still Cicerone, still Cicerone.
Brilliant feat. Brilliant feat there by Cicerone. Thought he'd done too much to start with, and he just created a chance. Good defending though.
Built into the feet of Cicerone. It's been a fantastic addition for St. Louis FC. Now on 2 goals through 5 matches after scoring last time out against Atlanta.
You could just hear the head coach. When he played it backwards, he was like, you could tell him, he was telling him to get faced up and get at him again. He knows he's got the beating of the right back. Avila's going to be tough for him tonight, especially now that's just happened.
And now Reynolds coming forward as well to put some pressure, try to play it towards Dequa. Just a bit behind his run.
If I'm Reynolds now, all I'm doing is I'm just saying to Cicerone, every time I get the ball, I'm opening up and I'm going to give it to you. I'm just going to feed him the ball the whole time.
Avila. Fisher doing well to play between the lines. Lovely layoff there from Kasim. And Lopez trying to keep the ball moving quickly as well to the feet of Harivo. Hoffman.
Just got to move the ball a little bit quicker. It's too slow in those areas. Once they've been in there 2-3 seconds, they're set. St. Louis ain't going to move. You've got to pull St. Louis around. You've got to move them. You've got to stay as wide as you can like this and try and drag them wide. Otherwise, if you just play a little bit too slow, a little bit too narrow, then it's going to suit St. Louis all evening. They're happy to stay in there. They're not going to get pulled out of position. You can make as many runs as you want. They're going to stay in those slots. So it's all about speed of play for me.
You will draw the comparisons in style that, as you mentioned earlier, Sam, that I think are unfair. But when it's a full tracksuit and cap for Anthony Pulich, he looks very much like his father.
You know, sometimes just acorn doesn't fall far from the tree, right? You know, and I'm sure there's many, many pieces about him. But you know, I still think, you know, he's forging his own way out here in a great way. But what a resource! What a resource for to have your dad as such a successful manager as he is. And I'm sure he must bounce ideas off him. He must do.
Tony Pulis, the manager of Middlesbrough, formerly of Stoke City, Crystal Palace, West Bromwich Albion. Specialist at keeping teams up in the Premier League.
That's it. Very structured.
Nice pour there from Kyle Fisher, gives it straight to Cicerone, who will now slide in Albert Dikwa. Trying to hit on the counter-attack here, St. Louis. The Cameroonian Albert Dikwa laying it off for Cicerone. Now Hilton trying to touch into space and won't cut out there by Johnson. Now Avila sliding well to win the ball back.
Disappointing there. Great little opportunity to play. One Cicerone there just to carry on going. That's a foul from behind.
And it's a tug of the shirt as well from Gaia Bend. Daniel Johnson. And you wonder if this is going to earn Gaia Bend a yellow card. It will indeed from Jervis Atagana. I'd say it's not really for the contact, but more in the manner in which he slowed down the attack.
Yeah, professional foul. He knew he was beat. Ben knew he was beat. Just had to pull him back just to try and get goal side. You know, it's one of those fouls that you take for the team. But Johnson, you see again, he's the one that Ben's having to follow. Yeah, just, you know, you see him get him away from him here. Just steps across him, just gives him a little nudge. Ben's clever there. Beg your pardon. He's clever there as well. Just understanding where the touch is. Johnson, he understands that there's a touch. He's going into nowhere, so goes down. So good play from him as well. But for Birmingham to be more successful, they've got to get Johnson on the ball. Get him in between the midfield and the back line of St. Louis and really let him get turned on the ball. If they can find him a little bit more in these last 10 minutes, they can nick themselves a goal, and then it's a completely different game for them second half.
And it's laid down for Culbertson, played into the air. The header comes in! Opening goal for Birmingham! They might quite like this going on the road thing. One of the champions a weekend ago, and now lead by a goal to nil. At the side top of the Eastern Conference table, St. Louis 0, Birmingham Legion 1.
Great ball in. It's all about the delivery for me, and they just get caught. St. Louis backline get caught. Look, they're all flat. They drop a little bit early. There you see Lauren. What a header that is from that distance, and the goalkeeper's got to do better. You just see the goalkeeper coming and backing off, and he gets himself in a real difficult angle, but take nothing away from that header there from Laurent. Great header, but goalkeeper's got to do better for me there.
Mathieu Laurent, the center back, coming forward in the free kick delivery, and Kyle Culbertson getting an assist against his former side.
That's always an extra sweetener, isn't it, when you get one against your old side. We just mentioned if Birmingham Legion could get a goal before half-time, then it completely changes the dynamic, because now St. Louis have to come out. So it might free up a little bit more space for Johnson, for Wright to be able to get on the ball, Hoffman to get on the ball. Great header from the angle.
Doing very well to direct it towards that far post.
22, Laurent Mathieu. The assist to number 33, Kyle Culbertson, in the 38th minute.
Cicerone. Going to play the 1-2 there with Greg. Going all the way back to keeper Van Oekel. Not going to touch it away from Dikwa.
It's almost stunned St. Louis a little bit. It just came out of nowhere, that free kick and goal. St. Louis had a lot of the play. Not much was happening for Birmingham Legion in the final third, and then set piece, you know. You know, Coach Anthony Pulis will be disappointed giving up a goal from a set play.
St. Louis have only been behind once this campaign through 5 matches. And that lead, or that deficit, lasted 8 minutes against Indy 11 before Fanuel Kavita scored the equalizer and Russell Cicerone scored the winner. Unfamiliar territory, at least in 2019 for St. Louis. Birmingham doing very well in the set piece, and now Harivo on his way. Fenlison off his line and calmly leaving it there for a bend. whistle sounded first.
Yeah, brilliant interchange. Love what Birmingham Legion was doing there. Just completely identified the left-hand channel that Reynolds had just left, trying to get forward in a quick transition. And there you see Heravo just exploiting that with a lovely little ball in behind.
Here there are the tactical instructions there of Tom Sohn.
Great interview with him. Very calm, very composed, spoke so much about the team. He said he's been successful as a player, successful as a head coach, and the biggest attribute that he felt that he prides himself on, a great locker room. His players want to work for him, they want to work hard, they want to work for each other, and he said, and he felt that that's a key ingredient for them to be successful over the next 2-3 years as they build this franchise.
And Laurent could be forgiven there for putting the ball out to touch, scoring that opening goal.
Yeah, St. Louis is going to have to just lift their tempo a little bit. You know, even after the goal, they lifted it for a couple of minutes, but it's sort of gone down into this. I think they could play a little bit quicker.
Play into the channels there in the direction of Kyle Gregg. As Johnson does look like he's temporarily gone down after his coming together with the center forward for St. Louis. Trying to get his right ankle.
He's trod on him by mistake from what it looks like. He's not happy. Looks like Greg just trod on him as he went past, accidentally on purpose. Two big saves from Van Oekel in the first half, though. I know one of them was offside, but it was a very well worked free kick, and both times he's come off his line sharp, come off and made himself big and brave, and got a fill you with confidence that. Fisher there just getting himself back up after getting trod on by Craig.
Was indeed Fisher, I said earlier, was Johnson. The assistant just having a word there with Anthony Poulos, explaining now the award of a free kick to Birmingham.
I think he'll be pleased. I think he'll reflect over the first 42 minutes of the game, and he think we've had our chances, we've moved the ball fairly well. I know I've mentioned that they could be a little bit quicker just in a transition. St. Louis, especially with what they've got with Cicerone and Dackers on that opposite side, on that right-hand side, the way they can break. They've had some success in these wide areas. Just got caught on a free kick. It's almost like they went to sleep. Goalkeeper in the wrong position for me. 1-0 down.
Throw in for St. Louis. Kavita. Sam Fink. St. Louis now need to try and get some more chances and find that response. As you mentioned, though, Sam, it's not like they've done nothing going forward. They've certainly created some chances.
It's great interplay.
Gaia Bend peeling it towards Dikwa is a decent ball.
Just missing that final third, aren't they? Just that little touch, that little bit of quality. They're getting in some great areas, St. Louis, and just undercooking their pass or just not quite hitting the right target.
Comes out to Matt Boehner on this right-hand side, who'll loft it into the area. And the option to play the ball in the channel towards Dakers, but instead that cross goes wayward.
Lovely interplay again, though. Finding it really hard, Birmingham Legion, with the movement from the front four up top, the way they interchange, the way Dackers drifts inside, Cicerone comes inside, you've got Dikwa that comes, drops off, Craig goes in behind, or Craig drops off and Dikwa goes in behind, and they're finding it difficult at the minute, Birmingham Legion. But then when St. Louis get into those final areas, they've just got to have a little bit more quality for me.
And Oakley's ball went in the air by a Bend, but it is a throw in for Kyle Culbertson.
See how deep Lopez is there, look, just protecting what they've got, get themselves into half time. Birmingham Legion, any of them, you're not going to be in any rush to take this throw in. Just see out until half time and then regroup.
Another throw in for Birmingham. Kyle Culbertson used to patrol that left-hand side. Here at the Toad a year ago, wearing opposition colors. Often doing well to win and leave there for Johnson. Harivo.
Been impressed with Harivo. Been really impressed with him. Gets the ball in great little tight areas. Good on the ball, good under pressure.
We're now into stoppage time presented by Paycor. Need more time in your business? Contact Paycor to handle your payroll and human resource needs as Cicerone carries on his way. A minimum of 1 minute to be added on. Cicerone towards that back post. Daker's trying to at least flick on towards a fellow green shirt. Instead, out for a throw-in. Taken quickly at the feet of Lewis Hilton. Too many options. And we'll now switch the play out here to Sean Reynolds.
Hey! Come on, boys! 30 seconds!
Up with Kavita.
You gotta run into the gap there.
Fink. Lofted up towards Greg.
Great defending.
And Avila doing very well to head back for Matt Van Okel, the goalkeeper. Birmingham will likely get to the half with the advantage.
They'll be happy. Reduce St. Louis to maybe a couple of chances, one of them offside. We said more set pieces more than anything in open play, a couple of good defending moments, a couple of good blocks.
And that is the halftime whistle from Jervis Atagana. You see the frustration there from Jake Fenlison as he has conceded. St. Louis go into the break trailing for the first time all year. It is a set piece delivered by Kyle Culbertson and nodded in by Mathieu Laurent that give the visitors the 1-0 advantage at the break.
Electrical work for your home or business, look to the electricalconnection.org. Created as a partnership between IBEW Local 1 electricians and the St. Louis chapter of the National Electrical Contractors Association, the Electrical Connection has been setting the standard for electrical excellence in St. Louis for over 100 years. You can depend on our highly skilled and trained workforce, your #1 source for quality electrical and communication contractors, electricalconnection.org.
Junior programs, basically there's two sides of it. There's a rec side and there's a select side, and basically it's for ages 2 to 12.
So you start off by doing a little bit of a warm-up.
It's a developmental, kind of want to introduce the players to the game and kind of all in a fun environment and create a positive experience.
Our staff is first class, our facilities first class, and it's really a first class program.
A lottery ticket is so much more than a piece of paper. It's wonder, opportunity, dreams. And not just for players. 100% of the profits from every Missouri lottery ticket you play goes back to school.
Halftime is presented by Converge One. Birmingham Legion leading St. Louis FC by 1-0 off the header from Mathieu Laurent. He was a college soccer player competing in his sophomore year with plans to continue, but when an injury to his lower back, one which required surgery and ended his playing career, was forced to explore his options. He quickly discovered that coaching was the best bet. Tonight, we go behind the shield with SLSG Illinois staff coach Kyle Riebling.
Ryan, just put those in the goal for me. Take a touch, step and hit. There you go, Ben. I grew up in a baseball family. Grandpa was a professional pitcher for a couple years. Dad was big into baseball, obviously, as well. Parents decided to throw me in soccer at 4. Fell in love with the game, quit all the other sports at like 10 years old, and it became my passion ever since. If you're going to beat him, beat him. Otherwise, let's pass it and let's move the ball to the other side. Played club a couple of different places growing up. Granite City, Elks during high school, and then my high school was Columbia, Illinois. Went to Greenville College, now Greenville University. Played there for a year before an injury. Going from an injury that ends your career to jumping into coaching immediately was really great, actually, looking back on it now. Getting to sit in on all those meetings for 3 years, the tactical discussions about players, just talking about the game in general, just made me want to coach even more. Stop. Oh, Andrew, don't let him cut. My old high school coach at Columbia, Steve Ross, reached out to me and said, do you want to coach? And I jumped on that opportunity. I coached at Columbia High School with the girls for over 5 years before making the move here. The other thing is, look how close to the box you are. Why not get a service off, right? I work with the elite boys in Illinois, U13, U14. I'm also the age group director for those ages, and then I also coach U17 elite boys as well. Oh no, heads up! The kids that have just come out of 9v9 are now developing into 11v11 game. It's a lot of them discovering. Get to teach these kids different principles of the game and how they should look at the game themselves as players and analyze it, and how they can solve problems throughout the game. You're working and focusing on development mostly, but obviously winning's part of that. You know, you want to win. You want the kids to have that desire to go out and win and find a way to get a result. Every kid in the development phase needs to have the opportunity to experience what is it like to try to win, to go and find a last-minute goal. You know, those kinds of experiences are greatly important to their development as well. I first wanted to be a teacher. My background and degree is actually in history education. Just the love for wanting to pass along knowledge and to help kids continue to grow and mature and develop is really where everything stemmed from. I believe there's a higher purpose for myself, and this path has been paved for me. I just had no clue where it was going to take me, and now all of a sudden, looking back on it now, it's been pretty obvious. You take two huge passions of mine, working with young people, and then obviously the sport of soccer. Now this club has given me a very unique opportunity. Love coming to the facility, love going to the meetings, and love working with everybody. Going to work every day, it's a joy. Good, now can you go the other way? Okay, good, way to look him off. Now what? Good. Keep the feet moving. What do you want next?
And that the story of St. Louis Scott Gallagher, Illinois staff coach Kyle Riebling. Rainy evening here at the Toyota Stadium, both on and off the pitch. Birmingham Legion leading the host by a goal to nil. At the break, presented by Converge One.
And Jameson's going to get to the ball off the giveaway, and Bradford Jameson's got the first goal, and San Antonio FC is on the board.
On his way, here's Ryan Sierakowski into the penalty area. Sierakowski!
Oh! Weaving it forward. Oh, Will got a piece of that to Rob Dos Santos.
Plata, he'll take a shot, and a goal! Joao Plata!
Leo's ball, nice curl, this time headed for the goal!
This afternoon's match, a good ball into Lewis, what a strike! Zico Lewis.
Nice 1-2 there.
Here comes that scissors kick, and Isaac was alive to it.
Long range shot, curling, and it's in the back of the net!
And it's going to be Lewis, he just takes the strike. And Brandon Miller manages to get just a hair on it.
Austin Bold strikes first. Good ball in, John He's going to give it a crack, deflected away by Hundley lets it fly, and Juan punches it away.
And it is a goal.
Fleming's in for JJ.
Here's Micheletto. Sends over, beautiful curler. Marco Micheletto. The right side of the box. Robinson comes back, looking for some help. Deflected there. Jansen from the goal, stopped by Kirk.
Full head of steam. Perusa trying to chip the goalie, and that's exactly what happened.
Dennis. And that one off off the crossbar, and Fitzgerald getting a piece of that.
Here's an opportunity. Zion buries it for the Red Wolves. Advantage for the rest of this game. Endo going right at it, punched out by Herrera. Outstanding effort.
Cox runs over it. Second chance. Vega there. Back of the net. Near post headed on into the back of the net.
Some of the best from USL Championship and League One. There's your in halftime presented by Converge One. St. Louis down at the break by a goal to nil to Birmingham Legion. The header coming in from Mathieu Laurent as we now take a further look at what's going on around the USL Championship. St. Louis remaining atop the power rankings, come into this game as rated the best side in USL Championship and now trailing at the break to an expansion club.
Started well, got caught with a set piece as we just see, and now they've got to come out in the second half and they've got to really up their game and come after them. But you see them topping the charts with Rowdy, and that's the one thing that Tampa Bay Rowdies are able to do is score a lot of goals. I always fancy them at their home ground against anyone.
Kai Kornike leading LA Galaxy to victory with 2 goals and an assist against Tulsa Roughnecks, picking up USL Player of the Week as we now take a look at the upcoming schedule in the USL Championship. Games coming up thick and fast here in this 36-team division. Of course, the big one coming up on your bottom right-hand corner, Austin Bowl taking on Phoenix Rising. That's our ESPN Match of the Week.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game, that. Obviously, head coach Marcelo Serrano for Austin Bold. He's got that team very technically and tactically astute. He'll mix it and make it difficult for Phoenix coming down there. But you look at Hartford Athletic, they're still on the road. First seven games are away because of their stadium, and now they've got to go to New York Red Bulls, which is going to be another difficult game for them.
And went down today as well, so 6 losses from 6 for Hartford Athletic. Would like to at least get a point before they go back home. Coming up next, we'll have first half highlights, second half kickoff. Birmingham Legion leading the host St. Louis FC by a goal to nil at the break.
Soccer fans had a chance to celebrate.
And for the first time in club history, St. Louis FC are into the postseason.
Tickets for St. Louis FC on sale now. You can be a part of the action.
And might that just be the goal that sends St. Louis FC into the Western Conference playoffs?
There's season tickets, single game, group, and flex tickets. Something for everyone with St. Louis FC. Support your local team. stlouisfc.com.
The excitement that is sweeping the nation has arrived in St. Louis.
Put that in a goal! It's Cicerone!
Fans are loving the authentic soccer experience. Tailgating, cheering, chanting, and much more. It's a party you won't want to miss.
Goal! St. Louis FC! Hit a goal! Fanuel Kavita!
Get your tickets at stlouisfc.com.
In the Converge One halftime, Chris Whittingham, Sam Stockley here for commentary of St. Louis FC hosting Birmingham Legion, looking for 6 points from 6 away from home to start their expansion campaign. As we now bring you our first half highlights. Birmingham getting off to a great start in terms of the goals, but now we can bring you the full duration of the chances. Both teams coming out onto a rain-soaked pitch this evening, as the early chance will come here for Russell Cicerone, doing well to keep the ball in play and leaving it for Lewis Hilton.
Yeah, just done excellent down this left-hand side the entire game, and now you see Deckers there just drifting the ball in back post. Here's that opportunity again. There you see Cicerone, just great little feet, pulls back to Hamilton, and he's trying to open his body up and cut it back into that near post, and came close. This was another well-worked free kick, corner. Just comes back to Hilton, who drifts it back post. He was caught offside, but he could see the goalkeeper. Van Oekel making himself big and brave coming in there. Again, lovely work free kick.
Van Oekel had a fantastic first half, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He kept them in there. You can see him. You can see him organising his back four, and he's going to need to do that in the second half again. But this was a lovely ball in from Dackers for me. So difficult. You see Fisher sliding in, Van Oekel again, getting in each other's way. You see here, look, great ball in. One touch delivery. Goalkeeper does well, and then this is the one for me where he just gets up so quick and makes himself so big and smothers the ball. And they'll be disappointed. Look, we spoke about the goalkeeper. Look, I feel he's in the wrong position there. He's too far over to his near post. It's an average ball in there. And there you see Laurent with a great header. Take nothing away from his header to get that there from that angle. But for me, the goalkeeper's got his positioning wrong there.
And it was a great delivery from Culbertson. You almost see Fenlison reacting as it was Daniel Johnson who had the ball in the air, then put it on the ground. It was very quickly taken once the ball was placed on the ground. That perhaps catches Fenlison out.
I think Fenlison, yeah, exactly that. I think Fenlison thought this might be whipped in a little bit quicker with his left foot, so he tried to read it, and as he read it, the ball got floated in. So he's trying to backtrack and just got a little bit lost when he was backtracking and got caught out. But again, it was a wonderful header from the lad there. You see Laurent 22, so difficult. He was bending, the ball was bending away from him in some respects, and he was leaning away and got his head in there and just directed it into that far corner. But see Hilton about to kick off. He's going to be big. They need him in the second half, you know, big time. He did okay in the first half for me, but he's such a big player. We spoke about him. We highlighted him at the beginning of the game, what he's capable of doing from an assist, from a goals, and he needs to get on the ball for St. Louis to get back into this game.
And some players available to Anthony Poulos as well, who can make the change going forward in the second half as Jervis Atagana gets us started. Birmingham Legion, who won away from home and among the more bizarre of circumstances, having a game delayed until the next day and winning at Louisville by 3-2 to get their first road victory in their first road match, and now in their second road match after beating the team that were champions of USL.
This is what you expect from St. Louis. Look, already set their stall out, high press, getting up amongst them. You'll expect that from Anthony Poulos' side in the second half. They look good at times, but not his team. He wants his ball moving, he wants that high press, a lot of quality movement, and they're getting that now. You can see already in the first 45 seconds of this first half.
Guy Ben doing well there, a free kick, but Birmingham Legion now a chance to win a second away match against the side top of the Eastern Conference coming in. Only trailed coming into this one for 8 minutes. It's been about 8 minutes since they've trailed in this one, and now Lewis Hilton can try and change that. Russell Cicerone also fancying the set piece as well.
I think Cicerone all day long here, left foot, just whip it in, right in over Lopez's head.
He'll leave it for Hilton. The header comes in.
Just goes to show what I know. It's completely opposite direction, and they get ahead on goal. Just goes to show when you've got two lads with equal quality, both of them could deliver such a good set piece. For me, I still think that that ball gets whipped in, it comes in on goal, especially if it's raining, there's wind, it's on turf, that ball can hit the turf and give it a little awkward bounce. And you've always got bodies facing your own goal, so difficult to defend.
Sam Fink, pair of unchanged teams here in the second half, as now Culbertson gonna have to ward off challenge there of Albert Dikwa. Birmingham Legion, Culbertson part of a back four, Mathieu Laurent the goal scorer, Kyle Fisher and Eric Avila with Matt Van Oekel behind them. In front of that back four, Mikey Lopez, the holding midfielder, Zach Harivo, Daniel Johnson and Prosper Kasim with Brian Wright and Chandler Hoffman leading the line, although Hoffman has occasionally drifted out to the left-hand side of midfield, which is where he's at the moment.
Yeah, they definitely interchange, Hoffman, Kasim.
Oh, it's a poor header there from Mathieu trying to take down Dikwa, but Culbertson coming across to win the ball. Will still fall here for Dakers. And doing well to win the ball back, Chandler Hoffman. And Mathieu Laurent nearly giving away a goal after scoring the opener. Should Dikwa have done better there, Sam?
I think so. It'd be good to see it again once we get a little chance, hopefully in a replay. It'd be good to see it again because there's a little bit of a melee going on there, but you've always got a fancy. I always fancy centre forward, anything like that. They can pounce on it, and at least gets the shot off, hit the target.
A bend. The Israel native. In the Israeli second division before joining Louisville City. 2015, there for 3 years, won USL. Here's Dakers. A little leave there for the hit from Cicerone. Goes sailing over.
Yeah, much better from St. Louis the second half. Here you can see, yeah, just look, Long just gets caught, tries to be a little bit cute, but yeah, Dake just got to try. Hoffman pulls out that tackle on the edge of the box, then actually does very well to get back in.
As it will be a goal kick for Matt Van Oekel. St. Louis team, Jake Fenlison in goal. Right to left, the back four, Matt Boehner, Fanuel Kavita, Sam Fink, and Sean Reynolds. In midfield, Kadeem Dakers on this right-hand side with Guy Bend and Lewis Hilton in the center of the park. Russell Cicerone on that left. And up top, Albert Dequa and Kyle Gregg. So now Reynolds comes pressing forward from his left back position. You do see, as you mentioned earlier, St. Louis getting up the pitch, try and win the ball, take the game to Birmingham Legion. Hoffman.
They'll definitely high press.
Daniel Johnson doing well to maintain there after the tackle from Dakers. Kasim. On there, down the line, Kasim drifting all over. Receiving the ball there from Hariveau. Towards that byline, Zach Hariveau. On loan from New England Revolution, came through the club's academy. Major League Soccer side.
Yeah, clever player. Spoke about him in the first half. He does well. He maintains the ball. He drifts into little areas. You can see him now just drifting back in on that top right-hand corner. But he's clever on the ball. He's got good ideas.
Johnson. Sliding in well to intercept there, a bend. Dequa sent to chase. Headed away by Laurent.
That's where Birmingham Legion are going to have to be very careful. Once they get a sustained bit of play in the attacking half, which they're very capable of doing, good pass inside, we just see some great interchanges over on the right-hand side. But the moment St. Louis win it, what they're going to do is look to counter-attack quick, maybe go a little bit longer into the channel.
Does look, from our view, at the near touchline, like Birmingham Legion are preparing a change. So bring that to you when it happens. To this right-hand side from Dequa towards Boehner. Culbertson doing very well to win the ball back. Now into a dangerous area. And well won there by Kadeem Dakers. Tackled off it by Laurent. Culbertson with Dequa winning back. And out for a goal kick. Series of challenges from either side. Birmingham Legion doing very well. As the change will be coming on, it'll be a Birmingham Legion debut for J.J. Williams, who just this week was announced was coming on loan to the club from Columbus Crew. And that change presented by Cigna. Williams, first-round pick in MLS Super Draft, will come on for Chandler Hoffman.
That's got to be an injury for me, Chris. There's no way you're bringing Hoffman on 6 minutes into the second half. He must have picked up a little niggling injury, or he couldn't quite maybe get a slight stiffness out at half-time when he was, you know, being seen. But he's definitely come off for a reason there. What that does, though, is that will put Johnson will go inside and Williams will come out on this left-hand side, and it'll be interesting to see. You can see here Johnson on the ball now. Been very impressed with him in the first half. Crafty, clever player, really good in that little pocket, and I think it will suit him even more coming in as a 10 or underneath the striker. Right.
And J.J. Williams coming from Columbus Crew. Tom Sohn, the manager of Birmingham Legion, was a scout there a year ago, so would have some understanding of their setup. And Sohn and technical director Jay Heaps with connections in New England, which is why you see Zach Hariveau and Brian Wright on loan for New England Revolution in the team tonight as well.
It was interesting, wasn't it, listening to the head coach Tom Sohn talk about his his almost rise, we asked him about how once he knew he was the head coach, did he go straight out scouting? How did he do it? And he said, yep, he was literally out flying around all the games, trying to get a feel for the level the moment he found out he was the head coach of Birmingham Legion. And he said, and what surprised him so much is he's come into it this season for the first time, and it's even better again, and even harder, more physical, you know, better players than what he thought last year. So it just goes to show the level of the league and all the great things that are happening inside the USL.
See the rain pouring down here at the Toyota Stadium.
That's beautiful. That's perfect. Rain is coming down on the turf. Perfect surface. You can hit it.
Spoken like a true Englishman.
Slide. You can. It's perfect weather. Bit of zip on the surface.
Lofted in by Lewis Hilton. Greg trying to win in the air. Eventually cleared. It's perfect for the supporters, though. It's a bit chilly tonight in St. Louis.
Oh, come on.
Rain's coming down. Fair play. They're all sticking there. They're all wearing their ponchos and the like, but I don't know if it's perfect.
Great play there.
Dakers trying to loft in. It's close to Van Oekel.
Poor from Dakers there. He's got to drive. He can either drive to the byline or he's got to whip that ball in. He sort of gets caught in no man's land and just Van Oekel's 6'4". He's going to come for that all day long. It was a great build-up play as well. Loved the footwork inside from Cicerone again, playing just now under the two forwards.
Just trying to play out there. It was Avila. Came off a green shirt, and now the St. Louis players come flying forward to try and win the ball. First Dequa, then Dakers and Hilton. Eventually sent long.
You can hear Anthony Pulis telling his players, don't let the ball bounce when it gets driven like that, especially on a surface like this. You can't let the ball bounce.
Good touch there from a bend to avoid defenders, and now Dakers carry on his way. We'll slide on the path here of Albert Dequa into the penalty area. Albert Dequa, heavy touch, tries to keep it in play, but had gone out for a goal kick.
Just see Craig at the back post, so disappointed. Dequa took a touch, just overran it. Just got caught under his feet. He's looking for that second touch, but you see Laurent was closing him down. He had a perfect opportunity to deliver it a little bit early, a little bit like the ball that Dakers put in the first half. Especially on this surface, you've got to put that ball in nice and early. Just let it be a problem in the middle of the box.
Sam, as an ex-professional, can you explain why rain is a good thing for footballers?
Just because it makes the surface so wet and slick, and then if the surface is slick, it's going to be quicker. You can move the ball faster, the touch is cleaner, and then obviously anything to do with any type of sliding and tackling, you can use the surface to be able to block, to be able to stop in 1v1. You know, a lot of it's such an art and a technique, tackling and sliding and all those different angles of approach, that any wet surface where the ball rolls true and quick, beautiful. As long as there's no wind. Wind is the one.
Is the
I'll
issue.
play in rain, I'll play in snow, no problems, but no wind. Wind is a killer.
Dequa.
Look how far Laurent's come in. Laurent is almost man-marking Dequa. You can see him, look. Dequa's just dropped right into the halfway and Laurent's followed him. If that's the case, then Dequa's just got to keep pulling Laurent into those holes, and then you've got Cicerone, you've got Craig, or you've got Dakers that could just dart in that gap behind.
Good ball, Lewis.
Lewis into the channel towards Dequa. Never have known if the flag was going up, but...
And that's the other side of a nice fast surface. The whipped in quick, you just can't get your foot on, but they'll be loving this. This will suit both teams. Two good passing teams you got out here. Both like to get the ball in nice areas. We've seen some really good patterns, some interchanges between the fullback and the wide players.
The attempt to take it out of the air from J.J. Williams comes to nothing, and now Laurent looked like he was slipping, but manages to get it clear.
Great defending there from the lad. Just strength, that is. Good battle between those two, Laurent and Dequa.
Does look like 4-1 for Birmingham Legion. And now Greg just run through.
That's
exactly Cicerone.
That's exactly what we're talking about. You just see Greg. You picked it up there saying Greg making a run through, and that was because Laurent again you know, we've just praised him and his strength defensively, but he's going wandering at the minute. He's getting pulled into an area where he's going to get exposed with a clever forward like Craig that can expose that.
Now a double change is being prepared for St. Louis. Joaquin Rivas and Caleb Calvert getting stripped. See who will come off. Now Anthony Poulos going to try and change this game. 20 minutes after giving away the goal to Mathieu Laurent on the free kick. Anthony Poulos will try and change the fortunes of this match. Does look like Dikwa will come off. More traditional two-forward setup with Calvert coming off for Dikwa. These are changes presented to you by Cigna.
Both forwards.
Just as I say that, it'll be Greg who comes off as well. So a little bit of a different look wanted from Anthony Poulos. So both of his starting forwards will come off, and Joaquin Rivas, who scored 12 times a year ago in USL Championship for Tulsa Roughnecks, will make his 5th appearance of the year. As Mathieu Laurent will receive treatment for Birmingham.
Yeah, you just see him just tightening him up there. Just praised him. He's had to do a couple of runs there, and now he's just felt his hamstring tighten up. But no, brave play, quality play there from Anthony Poulos. You're asking me, you know, they haven't, Craig and Dikwa, they haven't really caused any problems. You're 60 minutes in, you're thinking, what chances have they had? They haven't. The chances have come from Hilton. The chances have come from Cicerone. But Craig and Dikwa hasn't really done anything. So Rivas coming in with Calvert gives him a completely different look. Like you said, I like Rivas. He's a clever player, scores a lot of goals, was successful last year.
Now Laurent might need some help coming off here.
That'll be a blow if he has to come off.
And if Laurent does indeed have to come off, you'd imagine Tyler Turner would come on, who has partnered with Kyle Fisher, who's had 3 different central defensive partnerships this campaign with Laurent, Tyler Turner, Marcel Appia, who will miss the game due to injury. So it will likely be Turner who will come on, should the change be needed.
Be interesting to see when he done that, because he had to get into the channel when he was just chasing Dikwa before. He'd done well, and it looked like he was bending down, just touching his hamstring.
The moment it looks like Harivo will drop in. This ball is lofted into the penalty area. And danger on there as Brian Wright was threatening, but Kavita and Fink able to deal. A bend under some pressure, and he gets tackled. Ben wanted the advantage. There's a little bit of time wasting there from Wright, and I think that's the final warning there from Tagana.
Been a quiet evening for Wright up top there for Birmingham Legion, centre forward.
Well done there by Boehner to play it towards Kadeem Dakers, cutting on to his left. Lofted, it's a good delivery. And Rivas there with the glancing header.
Great defending from Fisher. Read it all the way. Lovely little ball in the channel. See Dikwa again there, just beg your pardon, see Dakers just cutting it back, lifting it back in there, and then great defending just to get his body in the way and put him off.
She will not be Turner who will come on. It'll be Daigo Kobayashi, the 36-year-old, who played for 3 seasons under Jay Heaps and Tom Sohn at New England Revolution. Now comes on. It does look like Harivo will move from central midfield to the center of defense and partner with Kyle Fisher. So now a 4th central defensive partnership in 4 matches for Kyle Fisher and Birmingham Legion. Understanding you do want to give players opportunities, that would be a bit surprising for a team to have that many central defensive partnerships so early in a campaign. As now Boehner is on his way. The cross delivered, the header comes in, it's an equalizing goal! St. Louis FC show why they're top of the table as Joaquin Rivas delivers the leveler for the hosts. It's 1-1.
You've got to think how much would that have been stopped if you still had Laurent on the field, right in the area. Lovely ball in, and a great finish from Rivas, but just right in the area where Harivo's just had to occupy.
And the replay of this goal is delivered by Domino's. You take a look at the delivery there from Boehner.
Great ball in from Boehner. You just see Van Oekel just coming out. Has a lovely little look there, stands it up perfect. And that's such a brave run there from Rivas. See the goalkeeper Van Oekel coming out. For me, Van Oekel comes out. He's got to take the player as well as the ball. Gets caught, but a lovely little running behind from Rivas. But like we said, how much of that change of the centre-back coming out just unsettles the group and you lose a little bit of focus and all of a sudden you've just been caught with a ball. Went over the top of Herivaux.
Now Birmingham try and respond. Good ball there from Lopez. AJ Williams, his delivery cut out.
Been much better from St. Louis in the second half. They've deserved it for me. We spoke about how they come out and how they've now started and are pressing and getting a little bit more quality in the box.
Delivery there is straight to Lewis Hilton. And Rivas trying to poke through to Caleb Calvert. And you will have to say that Rivas, since coming on beyond just getting the goal, has made a real impact.
Yeah, he's a big plus for St. Louis. Big plus.
As Russell Cicerone is well on his way into the penalty area. Cicerone, that last touch, just letting him down.
Yeah, didn't mean to take such a big touch with the second one. He done everything right. Great acceleration. You see him running with the ball, getting away from the defender. And then he just opens it up onto that right foot. He's almost baiting the defender to come back in, and then he just tries to accelerate again and gets that first touch on the acceleration caught under his foot, and it goes out. Ends up getting a corner, but so good to have a player on your team that can extend you up the field like that for 30, 40 yards. It just gives you a break as a back four.
As Hilton will now deliver towards the back post. Calvert was there. The one though by Birmingham. And now Kassim going through there and trying to win it off Dakers, and absolutely took him out, and it's a free kick for St. Louis.
I don't think there was anything wrong with that for me. Kassim there, they just went a little bit shoulder to shoulder. I know Dakers hit the turf, but I didn't think there's anything wrong with that. Another opportunity to put this ball in the box, so good quality here from Hilton.
Anthony Poulos went racing over to ask for it, so you wonder what he saw. Now Hilton over the free kick.
Right along that 6-yard line, just whip it in, just on the outside shoulder of the...
Rivas is the one who delivers. The header is away there from Lopez. Hilton trying to send it in towards that area. Nearly there for the second ball. Now might it be a counterattack on here for Birmingham Legion. If Kassim can get turned, he does, but plays it straight into Rivas out for a throw-in. Culbertson will take the throw-in. As now Hilton gets a shove in the back from right, and a free kick that he wants to take quickly.
Another good opportunity for Hilton to drive this into the box.
Now Hilton directing his players on. There's a good ball in. Header comes to the edge of the 6-yard area. Cicerone won in the air, but Lopez able to clear. It's a backwards header. Not sure that was intentional from Kyle Fisher, but either way, Van Oekel can claim.
That's where you talk about a back line where there's been some constant changes, and St. Louis are doing well. They're throwing a lot of balls. They've got good quality coming in the box. They're asking a lot of questions. Again, it's a great delivery into the box. Just see Calvert getting up well there. Just tries to head it back across.
And now Johnson in some space into the penalty area, cutting onto his right. Has a go. And Fenlison had to make sure. Well done there by the St. Louis goalkeeper to avoid any potential rebounds here.
Yeah, Johnston just darting, great little feet, just tries to cut inside, you know, just trying to bend that far post. Doesn't quite get enough on it, but nice little idea.
Now you can hear the rain. Pitch side microphones. Van Oekel will play out. as well to find Avila on this right-hand side.
Lovely touch from Avila there under pressure.
Well done as well there by Lopez to see that that ball was on its path to being given away. Kasim.
Seen some really good glimpses of Birmingham Legion and the quality that they have.
As much as there are players coming from MLS setups, they're also young as well. You look at Harivo, 23, Johnson, 23, Kasim, 22, Wright, 24, J.J. Williams, 21, just on.
Yeah, these are all lads with top pedigree, and I just think the one thing that they've been lacking a little bit, not all of them, but, you know, 75% of them, is just some game minutes. I think once they start getting their fitness, you can see Johnson again here. He's been very good for me. Just final ball, let him down there. A little bit hasty, just trying to flick it off his foot. He's got to concentrate on that final touch. But, you know, you look at the quality that they have, they just haven't played that many minutes. So once they start getting regular first-team games, it's why they've all come down. It's why they've all bought into Tom Sohn and his ideas of what they want to do here, to come and play decent, attractive football. Beautiful.
I was just about to say, a pleasing sight for Sam Stockley as the rain continues to fall down.
Beautiful.
I did hear over the PA that the beer garden will be open for an hour after the game. I imagine the fans in attendance would enjoy hearing that as Lopez carries on his way. He's got some momentum to have a hit. Mikey Lopez not far away.
Exactly, not far away, but he's been allowed to travel 50 yards there. Two centre-backs have got to organise their midfield. Picked out well, Lopez, but he got to travel 25, 30 yards before any pressure.
Harivo winning. Phil Conley here for Joaquin Rivas. He pokes in the path of Dakers very well. Here is Kadeem Dakers on this right-hand side. Cutting in, try to poke it through. Towards a bend. And now a throw, and let's have a look here again at the shot from Lopez.
Yeah, you could just see Hilton running back there, trying to organise it, trying to get Kavita to come and step, but too easy, especially in this conditions, too easy to be allowed to come that distance and hit a strike.
There you go, Sam. Use the space.
Lovely work there from Boehner. Try to find Rivas, but well cut out. Nice flash there from Matt Boehner.
Just see Hilton doing his holding midfield job there. Does so well, drops in between the two centre-backs, just keeps it all ticking. Allows your outside backs here to get high as the two wide players roll in and pin the back four. Really good shape from St. Louis.
Hilton. Boehner. Kadeem Dakers charging on his way, taken down. And a free kick again for St. Louis, who've done very well with these set pieces.
That'll be a booking there, I would have thought, from the referee. Brilliant there from Kazeem, just drives inside. Beg your pardon. Decker's driving inside. You just see Calbertson just giving him a swipe. He's given a talking to here. You'd have thought that might have been a free kick, but again, this is where they scored from before. Difficult, you know, another opportunity to deliver this ball in the box.
Can Rivas or Hilton do with this?
Rivas for me, left foot. Drop it on that penalty spot with a whip.
5 green shirts on the edge of the area. It's a decent ball in towards the edge of that 6-yard area. Van Oekel came out. The return ball is in from Caleb Calvert, and it lands on the roof of the net. Decent chance down there for St. Louis.
Great ball in. Difficult delivery. Van Oekel has to come. You see it's a lovely curling ball in here. Just Rivas dropping it in there. They see Fink going for it. It's very brave from the centre-back for me. He knows he's going to get caught with the goalkeeper coming out. We talk about that all the time. And then just a little hook back over, a little bit too high. But again, you've got to be careful with that free kick. Such good delivery coming in there.
As we approach the final quarter of an hour of this match, see this game playing out here. Chances at both ends as now the counterattack begins for Joaquin Rivas, running it. Harivo now in that central defense position. Lovely 1-2 there with Dakers, perhaps a bit overplayed, and Culbertson away. But Abend doing well to win the ball. Here's Guy Abend. Left-footed delivery towards Rivas. Van Oekel. Ball coming a bit too close to him from Rivas' perspective.
Yeah, brilliant from Ben there, just keeping it alive. Great little touch on the move and then goes on the outside, tries to whip that back in. Good little bit of pressure here from St. Louis.
Johnson. And J.J. Williams, who's not had too much of the ball since coming on. Harivo. Plenty of numbers going forward for Birmingham. Kobayashi appears to have settled in pretty deep next to Lopez rather than ahead of him. As now Avila will loft it in, and that's not the ball he was looking to play. Last 2 years in USL with Las Vegas and Phoenix rising. Eric Avila, as Rivas was trying to play it first time and give it straight to a white shirt. Here's Johnson down this left-hand side, cutting in. Assessing his options. He's with Kobayashi into the path of Williams. Here's J.J. Williams! Birmingham back in front.
Goalkeeper for me again. It's gone under him. Great ball movement from Birmingham Legion there. Just see the whole build-up play. Not really enough pressure on the ball from any one of the St. Louis defenders. And then when it opens up to Williams, he just takes a touch. He's created all the space with the movement of the ball. And he hits it, and the goalkeeper goes under the goalkeeper. It's what we spoke about, that wet surface again. And you see Johnson coming inside. Great little flick onto it. Lovely touch. Hits it a little bit of outside of his foot, but the goalkeeper's got to do better for me there. It goes straight under the goalkeeper. Take nothing away from him. Good finish.
On his debut as well for the club. Signed in the week. Now the first round pick in MLS Super Draft to Columbus Crew on loan with Birmingham Legion. Have them leading by 2-1.
Really good. Great ball movement. Start with Johnson coming inside. Really good play. Just moved the ball quite well. Moved the ball well out there. He finished it brilliantly.
What a 2 weeks this would be for Birmingham Legion. They can hold on to this result in the final quarter of an hour left to play. Beat the champions a week ago and now lead away to the leaders.
Fair play to them, you know. Think about St. Louis, they came out, we spoke about the start, first 20 minutes of their second half, they came out, had a couple of opportunities, but Birmingham Legion have been excellent. You can see the quality that they've got. You know, the head coach spoke about it in the week. He's excited about this group, what they've got, how they stick together, how they train, their habits. They work for each other, and they're just going to get stronger and stronger.
Abend. Tries to poke outside of the boot towards Rivas. The flag had gone up before Van Oekel could claim. And now, St. Louis again have to go on the front foot. Take over this game once again.
I think you got your two starting centre forwards on the bench as well. He went one bit of a gamble there. We spoke about they hadn't really done anything, and now maybe you look at it and think, we might want them on the field, but still plenty of time in this. They're not going to be panicking. St. Louis, they've done well. They've created their chances. Just to have a little bit more quality just in that final third.
Another achievement as well for Birmingham on the night. St. Louis had come in conceding just 2 goals in their first 5 matches. Now concede twice to the expansion side. And now coming together in the center of the park. Calvert going down. See the frustration there from Avila and from Fisher, but it's a free kick for St. Louis.
So 2 lads going up. So Calvert there, he's saying no. He said he's okay. Just looked like he got caught in the elbow maybe by Fisher. Nothing malice in that. 2 lads hit a diagonal ball. 2 lads just going up trying to compete to win a header.
And there comes yellow.
Need to see maybe a replay of that. Looked like there was nothing in that for us.
It is Kyle Fisher. We'll go into the book. Started every match for Birmingham. It is a yellow card for the central defender. Now Fisher and Mikey
A
Lopez.
yellow card caution has been issued by the referee. It's Birmingham's number 3, Kyle Fisher.
Good opportunity for Hilton to whip this ball in again. One thing they've struggled with a little bit for Birmingham Legion in this second half is deliveries into the box. You've seen Van Okel come for one. Bit of confusion before.
5 green shirts forward. In and around that penalty area. Trying to be the one that can be on the other end of the service in from Lewis Hilton. It's the set piece, the opportunity for the chance as there's a pair of St. Louis players who won. I believe it was Fink and Abend, who both went up and unable to direct their header on target.
Bend, I think it is, just gets too much of it. Wonderful delivery. He's just looking for a glance as that ball comes in there. You're just looking for a nice little touch, a little glance, try and guide it into the back post, and comes to a bend, and he just got too much of a good connection with it.
Taking down, well, Brian Wright. Times he's been out of the game, but I said the same of J.J. Williams right before he smacked in the 2-1.
Yeah, it's been a difficult evening for Wright up top. He's got so much physical strength, so good at holding the ball up, but at times he's been a little bit non-involved in the game, and he still finds his team 2-1 up. This lad, on the other hand, has been excellent.
Now Johnson afforded the ability to get down that left-hand side. It fell for Kasim, might still fall for Williams. Or excuse me, that was Wright on the back post, and Fenlison had to save.
This time the goalkeeper does well. Again, it starts with Johnson down this left-hand side, cuts the ball back here. Falls perfect for Kasim. He just skims off his foot, and then, beg your pardon, and it drops down for Wright, who gets his opportunity.
And now a corner, an Electro Savings corner for Kyle Culbertson. Send in from that far side. He got a second assist against his former team. It's a good ball to the edge of that 6-yard area. The header comes in! And Birmingham have put 3 past St. Louis FC away from home. And it's the substitute Williams again. A second-half brace for the loanee from Columbus Crew. And Birmingham Legion look like they're about to tally 6 points from 6 to start their USL Championship campaign.
Great delivery here, gets his second assist of the night, and there's a fantastic header by the substitute, as you said. Comes in there, Williams just gets up brilliant, pulls in off the centre half there and just guides it, glances it into that bottom left-hand corner, and you see the goalkeeper looking for help off Hilton. Hilton stuck to his post, but what an impact he's made. J.J. Williams looks like to be a real fine acquisition for Birmingham Legion.
Birmingham goal scored by number 11, J.J. Williams.
6 away points from 6. It could be a second straight week, putting 3 past an impressive side. And it's J.J. Williams coming on and providing that impact. It was a great delivery as well from
Brilliant
Culbertson,
delivery.
who gets a second assist against his former team.
He's got to be so happy, but again, left footer whipping it in there. But the movement for me, J.J. Williams just stands on that goal, just stands on the goalkeeper in that little 6-yard area. It just pulls off. So difficult because you fall as a centre forward, you're pulling away. It's hard to defend, but he was unopposed. There was no one with him. No one within 2-3 yards of him. That's where Coach Pulis is going to be a bit disappointed for me, that he's not getting any pressure on that first header.
Now then, delivery into the area. Cut out there by Fisher. Hilton just trying to send it back in. Now Daker's trying to track the ball. Daker's nearly had a swing at it. Appeals for a penalty. Referee waving away. The tackle came in on Kadeem Dakers.
Just didn't drop for him, did he, Dakers? He was just used his body well, got in between the 2 centre-backs and just tried to muscle his way in there, but the ball just sometimes get that on the turf. It just didn't sit down.
Lovely leave there from Rivas, and a bend tried to poke it through towards Cicerone, but it just didn't quite get there. And now Hilton in some space. Facing Kadeem Dakers.
This is where Dakers, for me, I know he's left-footed and he's playing on the right-hand side. He loves to cut back and deliver all in swingers, but when he's in a 1v1 situation like that with his pace, he's got to get at him. even if he don't get a crossing, he's going to get a corner or something to keep the momentum going.
Lovely 1-2 there between Rivas and Cicerone. Rivas tried to play that one last ball. But again, Birmingham doing well to converge. Mikey Lopez losing out. Anthony Poulos still does have the one change available to him. Wonder if he would make it sooner rather than later here as the tackle comes in on Calvert. And just as you say that, it's Austin Martz on for Matt Boehner, so a winger on for a fullback. Imagine that'll lead to a little bit of a change in shape here for Anthony Poulos.
I think he'll go 3 at the back. Reynolds, Kavita, Fink, and then try and push another body up. Whether it's a 4-3, a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2, I think he'll go to 3 at the back now and try and push an extra body up top.
Kavita was forward there for the set piece. The strike coming in there from Cicerone. And it's off of Lopez last for a throw. 6 minutes in the 90 for St. Louis to try and climb back into this one. Have to get that second goal quickly if they're going to make this an interesting finale. Reynolds lining up a throw, does finally get into Rivas. A bend, lovely ball there to Rivas. Kadeem Dakers on the edge of the area, dinking it towards Rivas. Still Joaquin Rivas in the area. And the sliding effort came in there from Fisher. And the screaming appeals coming from the St. Louis players asking for the corner. But instead it's a goal kick, although now the referee is going to trot over to the assistant and have a word.
It amazes me that how a referee is 10 yards away and he's run over to his linesman who is 65 yards away to ask him if it went out, but you never know. That's why you have your assistants, right? I thought Rivas in that build-up done very well. There's an opportunity where he got in front. It looked like he might just got a shove in the back and was going to go down. But he kept his feet waiting for the ball to drop and did well to get himself a corner in the end.
Now it will be an Electro Savings corner for St. Louis FC. Hilton over it. Delivered towards that near post. It was a decent ball, and Dakers charging for it. Does get a touch to it, and again, but eventually swept clear.
Love it from Dakers. Steps in and then slides in with his head to keep it in play. Again, Van Oekel does well there. Ball comes in.
And now Birmingham just trying to slow the game down. Prosper Kasim will come off. Edward Opoku, another MLS loanee, will come on. All 3 of the MLS loanees now, all 4 will be on the pitch at the same time. Opoku, Williams from Columbus, Harivo, and Wright from New England Revolution. And Kasim taking his time.
Done very well, been very impressed with him. Very impressed with Kasim. Hard worker, not your typical right winger, not your typical left winger. He can play both sides, but he drifts in, he gets involved, he sometimes drops in deep. Does very well for the team, putting a good shift there.
And now it is Edward Opoku, the native of Millbrook, New York. Second-round pick in MLS Super Draft in 2018 out of the University of Virginia. Has made 5 appearances for Columbus Crew. As now the throw is whipped in there by Reynolds. A flicked on header. Might come to Rivas, who goes down. Penalty! Now then!
It's a substitute.
Joaquin Rivas scores the opening goal and now has won the penalty for the second, and St. Louis racing to try and take it quickly.
He's trying to protest his innocence there, Opoku, but it got caught, set it straight away. Long throw in, long ball. Fink gets a flick on, just coming in the back post. And he gets caught the wrong side there, Opoku.
He will indeed go into the book. And then, of course, the danger of throwing a player on while that defensive situation is in full flow.
Yeah, just see a push in the back there. Rivas looking for the penalty. This will be an interesting one now. You just see Culbertson come up to Van Oekel, tell him which way he's going to go. Maybe he knows his old teammate. Last penalty he took last week, Fink just went across his body as we look at the goal into that bottom left-hand corner. This will be interesting for him. Goalkeeper might have done his work, Van Oekel. Hopefully he's done his homework. I'm sure he would have. He would have known where he's gone last week. Be interesting to see what Fink does now. Does he stick to it? Or does he keep into his bot? Or does he change it up from last week?
Fink converted the penalty against Atlanta United 2, and now from the spot.
Changed it down the middle.
Straight down the middle, Sam Fink has made this an interesting finale in the final 2 minutes plus added time. St. Louis cutting the lead to 3-2 with 2 minutes to play in the 90.
Fair play to the centre-back there. Very calm and composed. Difficult situation. You see his teammate go up and speak to the goalkeeper. Tried to get in his head. Last week he went bottom left-hand corner, but look at this, calm and composed, just puts his foot straight through it. What a great penalty. Love that. You can see it. If in doubt, put your foot through it, and that's exactly what he did.
And that goal is delivered by Domino. Sam Fink, the central defender, is the preferred spot taker for Anthony Poulos, and for a second straight week, converts from the spot, his third goal of the year.
Calvert just chasing it down there. See, it's going to be crazy. Birmingham Legion just have to stay calm, use all their experience, slow the game down, as you can see now, and just finish the game with the ball. Nothing changes, just keep doing what they're doing.
We do see a defender for Tulsa Roughnecks, Luca Lobo, lead the league in scoring, but still not every day you see a central defender like Sam Fink leading his team in scoring. 2 goals from the penalty spot, the other coming from a set piece.
2 great penalties as well, back-to-backs.
Fenlison will send long. Calvert, big number 18, trying to win in the air. Avila trying to send it up. Comes off of Cicerone last for a throw-in. One over which Birmingham's right back will take his sweet time.
There'll be one more chance in the game. There'll be one more chance.
Of course, a big decision, less with the referee on how much added time will there be. Free kick St. Louis. Won by Hilton. Taken quickly. Hilton wanted to go over it, but now comes out to Austin Martz for his first touches of the match. He's it with Hilton.
Martz has got to face him up here, go 1v1. He's got 2 minutes of the game left. Let's get to the byline. You can hear the head coach going forward. Got 2 minutes left. Put the ball in the box.
As the rain continues to pour down. This will have a minimum of 5 minutes to be added on here at the end of this one. Stoppage time presented by Paycor. Need more time in your business? Contact Paycor to handle your payroll and human resource needs. Now Lewis Hilton will have an ability to deliver a free kick as it's heavy rain coming down here at the Toyota. But can it be a night to remember for these fans here at St. Louis?
Fisher's on his last chance there. The centre-back just got caught for this free kick. Just before that, he got booked, so he's got to be careful. If there's another ball up in the air on this angle, Fisher has to be careful.
Hilton into the penalty area. The header away. Comes to Kadeem Dakers. Will try and strike instead, going across very well. Stop any potential efforts there. Daniel Johnson. And a throw in here for Birmingham. Johnson frustrated and win a free kick. My word, it is coming down strong, the rain here at the Toyota. And I say that I thought it was a free kick. It will indeed be a free kick for Birmingham Legion.
It's going to take his time here, Van Oekel. There's no way he's hurrying this up. He's going to get everybody in position. No, you come here, you come here.
You know these fans that have braved these conditions want to see one more goal from their side. Stay unbeaten in 2019.
Nothing wrong with that. Look at Fink, puts his foot through it, just get it up there. You've only got, especially on this turf, wind and rain.
Try and win that second ball. Cicerone does. Cicerone carries on. And a key tackle in there from Kyle Culbertson.
Looked like a sneaky handball to me, just as Cicerone darted through.
Now Fink, then Cicerone. Well done there by Calvert. Into the path of Joaquin Rivas!
He's onside too.
And what a save from Van Oekel.
We said it. We said there'd be one chance. They looked for the offside. You can see Van Oekel telling the linesman to get his flag up, but Rivas, what an opportunity. That might be the one. Brilliant save from Van Oekel, though. Come out, he's been making himself big all night. He's been up for this, Chris.
And you have a look here.
Just great hold-up play here. Look, just a cheeky little back heel. He looks like he's offside, and goalkeeper does. Brilliant.
Electro savings corner now for St. Louis. 3rd minute of added time. Punch from Van Oekel. Now Opoku to try and carry away. Gets multiple headers to it. Now can try and turn, potentially hit on the counter. And he does.
He's in.
He's going to play in J.J. Williams, who's on a hat trick. Fenlison well off his line and does very well, but might have given away. Still on for Opoku. Well done there by Kavita.
What's he
Anywhere
doing
will
there?
do.
What's the goalkeeper doing there, Chris? He did very well and then tried to play it back across his body.
And Avila takes it out to touch.
Crazy. You said there'd be a chance.
And there's still more than 2 minutes to play. Fenlison.
He's in.
As far forward as possible. Dakers to try and get on the other end of it, but first for Van Oekel.
He's going to take his time, the old wily goalkeeper. He knows all about that. Drop to his knees, get organised, a few bounces of the ball. No, we're going to go this side. No, we're going to go that side. What an opportunity there from Rivas right at the end.
Hoofing it forward. Now it's for Williams to try and win in the air. A crunching coming together there in the center of the park. Leaves certainly a bend, worse for wear. He's got to try and get on with it. Lopez in there as well. He's another player on yellow.
Another opportunity to put the ball in the box. Decent quality here from Hilton. He's just got to drive it. For me, I'd let the goalkeeper take this. I don't know why the goalkeeper's not taking this, and he's up on the edge of the box and get another body in there.
No sense defending everyone forward for St. Louis. Good ball in from Hilton. The header straight at the goalkeeper.
Fink knows. You can see the centre back there, just any type of touch backwards, then he's got can keep the ball alive. That's the last thing he wanted, was it just to slide through.
Van Oekel getting it clear as Wright went down, but never gonna earn a free kick there as Fenlison sends it forward, but it's not the best ball. Cicerone trying to chase. And you're asking why didn't the goalkeeper take it earlier, perhaps?
Just had our answer. That's disappointing.
Dakers will hand it off here for Avila. All eyes on the referee, Jervis Atagana. Throwing is in, but it's straight at Reynolds. Now Hilton's got to get turned. They leave it with Fenlison, who again will play it up. This time it's to Cicerone. Is there one last chance on? Switch out for Austin Martz.
Love that ball.
Now Austin Martz is going to charge towards the edge of that area. It might come through towards Rivas. It'll fall for Calvert and away by Haribo. Only as far as Reynolds. Last chance saloon here at the Toyota Stadium. In off the left-hand side, Dakers trying to cross. Off the defender for a throw-in. All eyes on the referee, and he does point to the center circle. Birmingham Legion have won their first 2 away matches in the USL Championship tonight by 3 goals to the same scoreline that they beat the champions a weekend ago. Tonight, it's the leaders who fall victim. St. Louis FC, their first loss of the year. It finishes St. Louis 2, Birmingham Legion 3. As we now get to our man of the match, presented by Pleats Cleaners, selected by our broadcast crew. Follow St. Louis FC on Twitter to vote in the Pleats Man of the Match fan poll. Going forward, what a performance from Birmingham Legion away from home to get all 3 points for a second straight week.
Brilliant. Excellent performance. You know, first half I thought that they were maybe a little bit slow. They weren't quite getting it. You didn't see much of Wright up top, but you know, you got to respect you're coming to an inside form. You know, head coach Tom Swan spoke about how they were well-oiled, how they were very good in transition, St. Louis, how they were good defensively, good tackingly, but the game plan was spot on for Birmingham Legion. Came up here, got their opportunities, took them, took 3 points.
It is a second half substitute brace for J.J. Williams that leads the way in the second half for Birmingham Legion to lead by 3 goals to 2. Edward Jones presents today's final score. St. Louis FC 2, Birmingham Legion, the expansion side, 3.
excitement that is sweeping the nation has arrived in St. Louis.
And a goal! It's Cicerone!
Fans are loving the authentic soccer experience. Tailgating, cheering, chanting, and much more. It's a party you won't want to miss.
Goal! St. Louis FC! And a goal! Manuel Cavita!
Get your tickets at stlouisfc.com.
At Edward Jones full-time, it finishes St. Louis 2, Birmingham Legion 3. The champions, the victims a weekend ago. Tonight, it's the leaders, St. Louis FC. As we cannot bring you our full-time highlights. Chris Whittingham, Sam Stockley here for commentary of this one. As we get straight to the goals, Kyle Culbertson's delivery. The header is in from Mathieu Laurent, 1-0 to the visitors.
Yep. You know, Fenderson's going to look at today's game and find it difficult. I found he was a little bit out of position here, the goalkeeper. Take nothing away from Laurent, wonderful header. But for me, I felt the goalkeeper was at fault for a couple of goals here. You see this ball here, lovely delivery there in from Boehner, and you could just see the substitute there, Rivas, coming in. Great brave header, look, has a little look up there. Brilliant play from the outside back, and that's a wonderful header from Rivas coming in there. Van Oekel come out. For me, he's got to take the player as well, but this opportunity, Johnson done excellent all night. Came in there, lovely little step and a flick, and there you see the substitute, Williams. Takes it lovely, pops up, lovely little outside half. You can see, pops up off his foot, lovely little outside of the foot here in this touch here. But again, the goalkeeper for me, look, gets a slight deflection, but the goalkeeper's got to do better for me there. Goes under him. I know it takes a slight deflection, and then this for me, great delivery here, and there you just see the substitute pulling out. Great flick header back post. You see the goalkeeper again looking at Hilton on the line. Whose fault is it? But for me, look at that. Rises high, wonderful finish, wonderful header, but he's unmarked. And here you see the penalty, the substitute there for Birmingham Legion. Upoko just come in, got caught in the back. We spoke about Fink, what would he do? Scored a penalty last week, put it bottom left-hand corner. Today he put his foot straight through it. Wonderful penalty there from the centre-back. Here you see, look, calm and composed, puts his foot straight through it. Right thing to do.
And Joaquin Rivas would have one last chance going down the end of this one, but could not manage to score the winning goal. St. Louis with 18 shots, 6 of them on target, and 60% of the ball, but it's Birmingham Legion who come away with the most important thing, the 3 points.
If you look at that there, you know, normally that's what St. Louis was doing to teams last year, having 40% of possession and coming away with some wins, you know. And there you see it, they dominated the balls today, but they couldn't quite finish it off, and I felt the Birmingham Legion are a real class act. Once they get their familiarity, once they really understand their structure and what they're doing for Coach Tom soon, obviously then it's going to be a fantastic group of players with a great opportunity. You know, they've taken the former champions and now the league leaders in 2 away games. That's got to build confidence.
And next time out for both of these sides, St. Louis away to Pittsburgh Riverhounds, difficult place to go. Birmingham with a couple of home matches against Stowe Park and Loudoun United. But it's Birmingham Legion tonight who can celebrate for a 2nd straight week away from home. Last weekend beating the twice champions Louisville City. Tonight beating the league leaders St. Louis FC. It finishes St. Louis FC 2, Birmingham Legion 3 for a terrific USL broadcast crew and my partner Sam Stockley. I'm Chris Whittingham signing off.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.